At Man City Fan TV, we're really pleased to promote this wonderful sketchwork artwork by a lady called Leslie Ross. You can follow Leslie on Twitter at 111Leslie111 and also follow her on Facebook and Twitter at 9320art. Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. I'm here with Ray.
Hi guys.
We're going to just do a quick review and player ratings of last night. Wonderful result, 7-0. And let's look at the lineup to start with. Edison in net, Walker right back. Danilo actually came in and played centre back alongside Laporte. Zinchenko kept his place as left back. Then we had Gundogan holding again in the Fernandinho role. Ahead of him, we had Bernardo Silva and David Silva. Sterling came back on the right-hand side. Leroy Sane kept a place after the other day on the left. And Aguero started. So what were your thoughts when you saw Danilo was in at centre-back? I know I said on the video, the preview on that is a possibility. I didn't think it had happened.
Well, to be honest, what choices did we have? We had no Fernandinho, who's another one who could play centre-back. We had no John Stones. We had no Aymeric Laporte. Otamendi been
suspended?
Yeah.
Because of the red card.
So, I mean, we had all sorts of problems.
Sandler was injured, apparently.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't have played Sandler. I think he's not got enough experience yet. The one thing about Danilo, I felt mostly, since he's been playing this season, maybe one game he let us down. The rest, he's not let us down. Wherever he's played, left back, right back. And last season he played a game at DM or something. Wherever he plays, he's putting in decent performances, and he's not really letting us down. Yeah. And also, you know, someone like Schalke, they were poor, and that probably helped as well. And if that had been Barcelona or something, we might have been talking about something different. But it was, I don't think it was a high risk manoeuvre to play Danilo at the back.
So moving on to sort of the game itself.
Yeah.
First 20 minutes or so, it was. I said it last night. It was a little bit dull. The atmosphere, from a City perspective, it was a bit flat. You know, fans were a little bit flat. We obviously, where we sit, we're near the Schalke fans up in the top tier in level 3, and they were noisy. They had that drum was banging non-stop. And after 20 minutes, I was speaking to Christian, the American guy who stood next to me. And I said, what are your thoughts? And he went, hey, we're a little bit quiet here and they're making a load of noise and it's 0-0. And you're thinking, oh, please, like, not be one of these nights.
Yeah.
How did it come across? Obviously watching it at home.
Yeah. You know, guys, no, I'd me 3 tickets. I couldn't go because I've got to mention again, my wife's working away. I've got to look at a 10 and an 11-year-old. And sadly, strolling in at 11:15 at night, and then getting the kids up at 7 in the next morning, bad parenting. So you can do it now and again in holidays and stuff, or in exceptional circumstances. But so I have to sit there and watch it on the big screen at home. I've got to say at the start, I mean, it was a wonderful, absolutely wonderful 3D flag from the 1894 group. You could see it, the golden boat moving across the sea of blue and the flag. Absolutely fantastic.
I didn't see it, but I saw it last night. Early hours of this morning when I got home, I watched it and saw it. I thought, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable. And
I think that's a first, isn't it?
It's an amazing thing they do, and I think they do try and do a lot of other good stuff for fans. But this is one that was very noticeable, and I'm going to highly commend them because I thought it was a brilliant thing to do. The game itself, the first 20.
What about the anthem?
The anthem got a few boos, to be honest, I didn't watch the anthem. I watched just right at the end of the anthem because get my kids home at 7:20 and got a cook and rushing around, getting them, make sure they have a bath and whatever. So I just caught the end of the anthem, got some boos. That's what you'd expect. Realistically, there was talk of people doing the Poznan, but I expected more boos than normal because everybody's on our case.
Yeah.
Whether you call it tribalism, whether you call it looking after your own, you're looking after your blue brothers, whatever. The fans kind of roundly booed UEFA.
I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion on it. I don't think it should be, City fans saying that if you boo, you're a disgrace, and you should be booing because of what. Each to their own, and that's the way it is. And we'll see where it goes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Most games I've booed. I think there was one where I didn't. I think that was because Pep had kind of said, and I thought, okay. Few of us said we'll see what difference it makes. It makes no difference. Everybody's after us. And I will say this about the media again. The media, they talk about the booing. Some talk about small club mentality. Some say we don't care about the Champions League. Some say this, that, and the other. Very rarely do they actually say the reasons why City fans boo. It's not purely because of FFP. It's because of some of the disgraceful things UEFA have done, like finding City for being, was it 1 minute late out? And they find us more for being 1 minute late out than they find
racist.
Yeah. So was it the Porto and was it in?
Do me a favour, just push your laptop back a bit or move back a bit. That's it, so I can see you. Cheers.
You can see more of me now.
I don't know. That's a good thing. Maybe put your laptop.
But UEFA, and I think City fans feel wrong. Was it the CSKA Moscow game where they supposedly closed the stadium, but they still managed to let 200 of their fans in as press or whatever, and no one reimbursed the City fans who had lost out, who'd paid money for flights and hotels. If you couldn't get your money back, it was tough titty, and that's just blatantly unfair.
Yeah.
So those are some of the reasons.
There's lots of reasons. It's not just about FFP. There's several reasons why.
Yes.
So everyone's entitled, in my opinion. Everyone's entitled to.
Everyone can do whatever they want. So if you boo, if you leave early, I might not like it, but hey, it's your opinion. You might not like what I do. Fair dues, You're not hurting anybody. Just each to his own. So the game was. I mean, they put a lot of men behind the ball. It's a normal way now, isn't it? It seems to be the way to go. Chelsea have done it. Was it West Ham did it? Watford did it. Everybody's putting their banks very tight. And one of the differences between Schalke and some of the others, they had more, it felt like anyway, more quality on the break than some of the other teams that we played recently. And they did look a little bit dangerous. And we could have been caught out. I think we were very slow into the game.
Yeah, I think Pep said that he thought the players were, let's say, concerned about the fact that they didn't want to give anything away early on and keep this lead, and he really wanted them to go at Schalke early on, and it wasn't really happening. But then we had the first chance, great ball from Walker to Sterling. He cuts inside, pulls it back for Sergio, just shades off the post.
Yeah.
Should he have scored? Possibly, maybe not. We don't know.
The defender was there. The defender put a lot of pressure. And who's to say if Sergio had hit it on target, the defender wouldn't have blocked it. Yeah. So it was, for me, it was a 50-50. I'm really not going to blast Sergio for missing that.
Well, that seemed to open up then. They seemed to get concerned and worried because we could get behind them easily. And from that moment on, bang, suddenly
everything happened.
We seemed to click, and we saw, lots of balls going in behind the back of their defenders. And then on the 38th minute, we had the cross into the box and the push on Bernardo Silva for the penalty. Yeah.
I've got to say who made the cross. That was Gundogan, because his name will get mentioned again and again, I'm sure, during the 7 goals. So it was Gundogan's lovely ball. The defender was obviously, he lost focus, lost concentration, and he didn't even look where Bernardo was. He just fouled him, put his arm across him. And I actually think Bernardo wouldn't have got the ball. It was more of a, for me anyway, I thought the keeper would get that ball.
It looked like he was already trying to stretch for the ball anyway, and wouldn't have got there anyway. But we got the pen.
VAR.
It is, and you know what it's like. Sometimes when you're at home and you're watching the games, you were last night. I've been at home watching games when you've been at the Etihad, and you get a bit more information. You get some replays. You get possibly sort of the VAR line, and you get at the ground. You don't see anything, and it's like, oh, here we go. But like I said on the videos last night after the match, I'm all for VAR because if it gets the right decisions, especially City voted for it. Pep wants it. I want it. Lots of people want it. And after we saw what happened last year in the Champions League quarterfinals with Liverpool, lots of decisions, went against us. And you want the right decisions on the day. We just want it a little bit quicker. That's the only thing. It's like, surely somebody can, within seconds, if they can do it on the TV, surely somebody with any common sense who's a professional referee on the night can look at it and go, yeah, give it. That's it. It's my decision. Take it away from the referee if that's the case. Just say it is VAR. It's onside. Give it as a goal.
They just need to make it a ruling. I mean, I think there was another goal later on the Sterling one where on TV there was no line, so no one knew anything. All you could guess because Sane had crossed the ball, the defender was near him, Sterling was on the far side, and it was just guesswork. You needed that line, and the line came probably after they started, the goal had been given. Now, what I think you could do, kind of like cricket, I mean, the cricket, it works. The umpire makes the decision, and yes, one of the teams can appeal the decision. Okay, I wouldn't have that, but the umpire makes a decision, the ref makes a decision. If they're unsure,
stays with the ref.
Stay with the ref.
Yeah. I mean, like we discussed with the Sterling one and the issues of the goal at Watford. I mean, I think it's the rules that need to be changed. The rules need to be simplified. They need to be clearer. I think VAR is a really good thing, but they need to just sort the ruling out rather than this, debate back and forward. If somebody is watching it on screen and says, "I'm the VAR ref today," which ultimately says, "If there's any contentious decisions, it will be my decision."
Yeah.
I can see all the evidence, and you can get that evidence because there's overlaid maps over the screen with lines. So certainly for offside, they just overlay it and go, "No, he's onside. Well, give it. It's onside. That's it."
One of the issues they've got is sometimes the technology fails. And it doesn't work.
That sometimes happened in tennis. And there's nothing you can do about that.
But what you got to do, stick with the ref's decision. The ref's and what you can't do, which sometimes you feel happens, is people bottle the decision. They don't give the decision and say, "Let VAR sort it out." Now, if VAR isn't working, they've bottled that. That's a mistake. Make a decision based upon your convictions. The first goal against Watford, the referee made a decision based upon his convictions. He was wrong. But he did it based upon his conviction.
Well, I mean, it's like it'd be interesting, and I know we're moving away from sort of the game itself, but just very quickly, it'd be interesting because to get cricket umpires' perspective on it, because this has been in for ages, for years, and they go, "No, not out," or they'll go, "That's out," and then overrule it. It was out, and they just go, "Yeah, it was out," or they go, "No, that's it. It wasn't." There's no big deal about the fact that he thought it was LBW, and then they look at it and say it was going over the stumps. It's a wrong decision. Overturn it, and they go like that, and they move on, and the game moves on. It's no big deal because you've got somebody looking at evidence that goes, "Oh, in fact, he was onside, so give it." End of.
Rugby do it without much of a hassle. They have a bit of drama with it as well, and you can actually hear what they're talking about.
Just get on with it.
I think within 5 years, 3 to 5 years, it'll be right.
But it depends. The rules. The rules have to change. And the rules have got to be there to assist. And make it clear who is in charge of what. Let's just get it done and let's move on, because we had 4 VAR decisions last night, and basically 90 minutes were up and there was no extra time.
I texted you at the time. I said, I can't repeat what I said, but it was a joke. The first half, we had 2 extra minutes and at least 5 minutes wasted.
Now, maybe you would say 7-0 up, he's not going to punish him anymore. But I agree. But it just goes to show you, So anyway, Sergio gets the pen. Beautiful penalty.
Nice and calm. Let the goalkeeper dive, relax, and chip it straight down the middle. Obviously, if the goalie doesn't move, you look like a plonker.
There's always that chance, but how many? You have to take statistics. How many keepers will just stand there?
I don't know. Didn't Raheem Sterling miss one where he did that? I can't remember now.
I remember.
Someone did a silly one, but yeah, generally the goalies dive, and actually you're waiting for the goalie to dive as well.
Yeah.
So if the goalie
delay.
Yeah. If the goalie didn't dive, you still got that opportunity to just open your foot up and slide it in the corner. And if he doesn't dive and you slide it in the corner, he's got no chance of saving it anyway. So, look, professional footballers have got that ability generally to run up and they could hit it in any of three different places in a fraction of a second difference. So, you slightly delay and you open. You can do all that. So, if the goalie hadn't dived, I'm sure he'd have just opened his foot up and slid it in the corner instead. So 1-0 up.
Yeah.
At that point, I thought it's almost game over. It was almost game over. And within 5 minutes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, we were like, right, well, that's one. If we get a second now, that's it. Game is definitely over. I can't see them coming back. And then only a few minutes later, 38 minutes, great little play. Raheem getting in behind him. Nice little back heel to Sergio, who was under a lot of pressure. Strength is incredible because he was off balance with two players around him, but managed to, dig it out from under his feet and then, hit it. And don't think the keeper had a great night.
he had a mare, that keeper, last night. Your manager's there struggling, by his fingernails to keep his job, and your goalie does something like that, and he's probably at fault for 2 or 3 of the goals, and it changed a beating into a savage beating. So he should have done better.
And that was it then, pretty much. I mean, after that point there, 2-0, it was just total domination. They just looked beaten at that point, and then only a few minutes later, 4 minutes later, what a ball by Zinchenko to
fantastic ball inside the defender to Sane, and I'd said after about 20 minutes that Sane was having a poor game for me. His touch wasn't there, and then it's like maybe just before that or that moment flicked a switch, and afterwards Pep said he needs to be playing. He loses confidence if he's not playing, so he needs to play. But what Sane also needs to do is maintain that level. If you drop the level, you've seen he's been out on his backside for a few games. So, you can't drop your level. You've got to maintain it. And if Sane maintains that level, there's absolutely no question he's a first-choice starter for City. Absolutely no question about that. So he's just got to maintain that. So once Sane scored that goal, second half, he was on fire.
Yeah, so that made it 3-0 at half-time, and I think everybody speaking to people in the concourse, the bar area at half-time, was like, it's just a matter of how many can we possibly get. So moving into the second half, again, we just started where we picked up and left off at we picked up where we left off in the first half. Then Raheem Sterling gets his goal. What did you think of that?
Raheem Sterling, let's have a look, because there was a couple of other chances before that, but one was offside.
Sane, one was offside.
Yeah. So Sane, if I'm right, Sane did this absolutely beautiful ball. Unbelievable. Just the way it's bent.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I mean, it was poetry. It was oozing class. It just bent and it just so gently came in. Sterling come onto it and bang. He stroked and Sterling stroked it home, and it was a fantastic feeling just watching that. And I'm sure listening to you guys in the crowd, you were like almost lost for words. It was that awesome.
It was brilliant. I just thought how well Raheem took it. First time, it would have been easy. It shows you how confident he is that this ball came in. And he never took a touch to try and control it and shoot. He just was comfortable in bang. He timed his run perfectly and just placed it. It was Sergio Aguero-esque.
It was awesome.
Brilliant. Absolutely awesome. Brilliant finish. Brilliant ball. Brilliant finish. Controlled finish. Raheem. We had Bernardo Silva's goal.
All we do is talking about goals because that's all it was. If you look at it, in the space of about 53 or 54 minutes, we scored 7 goals.
Yeah, yeah. And we had other chances.
Oh yeah,
there were other chances in between these, but we just talk about the goal. Leroy Sane put through, pulls it back.
yeah. It was Zinchenko again. I like to mention the pre-assist sometimes because sometimes that makes the goal. So Zinchenko put Sane in behind. It was a blind cutback. It's what we've been talking about for weeks when they've been lumping these crosses in for Sergio to battle with these 6'4" defenders. He's got no chance. And we've said what we like are these cutbacks towards the penalty spot and someone's running in. And what you've got, if you're on the break and the defenders, they just keep going. They just keep going towards the net. And they'll leave that space there quite often. And someone can come in and slot it in. And that's what Bernardo did. So he got that cutback. He placed it into the corner. Keeper got a big hand to it. Whether it's
bit of a bobble, it sort of bounced before it went in, and another bit of dodgy moment from their keeper. I think
you can say he could have saved that, but anyway, we were 5-0 up, and it was a romp by this stage.
Then on, let me just take a look. Then on 64 minutes, we had the substitution, and we saw Phil Foden introduced. I just love him. He's like Bernardo. He gives, as soon as he comes on, it's like this bundle of energy.
Yeah.
And you could see him. He was like tenacious and all over them. We thought, right, I've got 25 minutes to impress Pep.
Yeah.
Let me do what I can. And he was all over the place. His touch was excellent. His first time control, his tackling, and then we had that
him on the pitch. It was good to have him on the pitch because he still wanted to go drive forward and score and help the team score goals.
Of course, yeah.
Which is what I've been unhappy about sometimes when we get to 2 or 3-0 up, and then the team just back down, and Pep doesn't introduce other people early enough, but he gives Foden enough time to influence the game.
Yeah. Well, on 78 minutes, Phil Foden, our Stockport Iniesta, as people like to call him, actually becomes the youngest player to score for Man City in the Champions League at 18 years and 288 days. What are your thoughts on his finish?
On his finish, well, I'll lead up to it. It was obviously Zinchenko nice pass to Sane. Sane sidestepped his man. Peach of a pass from Sane, beautifully weighted. It's as if he's been finally listening to David Silva, because that was perfect pass. Foden took it, rounded the keeper. He was never going to do anything else but score. And it was fantastic. And now that you mention his age, I look back and think, what was I doing at 18 years and, under 19 years of age? What was I doing,
Yeah.
Well,
it'd be May. I think he'd be 19 in May.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think what was I doing?
He's playing in the last 16, of the Champions League, and gets a chance at the Etihad, and then rounds a European team's keeper, plants it into the back of the net, and his fist pump and everything to the crowd. It was just brilliant, absolutely amazing. I'm so pleased for him because it shuts up the likes of Neil Custis, and I mean that he will dread the day he ever actually posted that. Maybe he'll get loads of clicks, but
he gets a lot. He gets a lot of every time Foden does something. Neil Custis' name in that tweet comes back up.
It makes you wonder why he did it in the first place.
But it was good to see when Pep afterwards talking in gushing terms about how much he loved Foden, and he was not going to go on loan whilst Pep is at City, which I think is the right thing.
He said, I think he said, didn't he? He's staying right next to me.
Yeah,
my arm will be around him, and he's stay right next to me. And that's the news we want to hear. It shuts up all the rumours of he should go out on loan with, I think, some ex-footballers have recently and said he should really go on loan. And then you've got the best manager in world football saying he's going nowhere. He's staying right next to me. So,
I also think that's good for the youngsters coming through, because it shows to them that, hey, if you are good enough, the manager will have faith in you. He'll say lovely things about you. He'll dote over you. And you might not get as much time as some of your mates, but you'll get the time that the manager thinks you should get. And this is the best manager in the world. There's no doubt in my mind. And, I can take off my blue tinted specs. There's no doubt in my mind that he's the best manager in the world. So the youngsters coming through say, look, if I'm good enough, I can still make it. I can make it here. And the manager will be very supportive of me. So let's just keep working hard and try to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, the guys that I interviewed last night outside the main entrance.
McDonald.
Yeah, so I interviewed Rowan McDonald. I also interviewed Louis Fiorini outside. Now they were in. It was quite funny because they didn't have tickets. They were just stood outside and chatting to them and about going in and things like that, and trying to ask them about comparing players and who do you play like. And they both Lewis said sort of
De Bruyne,
and thought, well, if you play anywhere near like him, mate, you can have a great career.
If you're half as good as him, you'll be playing for England.
Absolutely. And then obviously Rowan said John Stones.
He's been looking in the mirror, that Rowan McDonald. He's been looking in the mirror. Yes, John Stones.
Yeah. Well, you look at those two kids in particular from the under-18s at the academy, and they're watching Phil Foden, who's a few days older or whatever.
Like 1 year older than some of those guys.
Well, he might not. Some of them might be 18.
Some of them are younger.
Yeah,
older. Sorry, yeah.
Foden, might be of a very similar age to them, and you're thinking they're looking at him, thinking, look at that goal he's just scored in the Champions League last 16. What motivation it gives these guys at the academy to say, look, if I'm good enough, Pep will pick me. He'll give me the opportunity, and I must take it regardless. So it was wonderful, brilliant by Phil Foden. I think it was one of those that it sort of rounded off the night. It was, he's got on, he's scored. That's brilliant. That just sort of sums everything up. That takes it to 6-0, and we're thinking, God, there's still nearly 15 minutes to go. It could be 10.
Everybody was saying it could be 10.
It could be 10. And then obviously we've got Gabby. Gabby came on, got a bit of a run out, and rushed around, run around, and got his goal on the 84th minute. What about his finish? Yeah,
it was Bernardo on the right of the box, and it was a simple pass to Gabby Jesus. He bent it around the defender, and it went under the goalie. Now you can argue, if you want to be against the goalkeeper, you say he should have said it went under his body. If you want to cut him some slack, he's probably tired of and probably got a bad back after picking the ball out so many times. And he was a little bit unsighted, a little bit flat-footed. But hey, you got to hit the target. If you miss the target, you won't score unless there's an intervention by one of the defenders to deflect it in. So you got to hit the target, and that's the minimum requirement. Gabby did that. And the rest, leave it to chance after that. He got his goal. He's probably a little bit embarrassed, I think, but still deep down you're happy to score a goal, however it scored.
Yeah, well, that made it 7-0, which was the final.
That was enough, wasn't it? 7. Magnificent 7.
The magnificent 7. The magnificent 7.
Well, that's my Yul Brynner moment there, mate. All
right. Well, yeah, you do look a bit like him. Maybe not now because he's been in the ground for quite some years.
That's why I look like him. Yeah.
Some just look at some stats and some facts. Aguero has scored in 4 consecutive Champions League appearances for City, the joint longest run of any player for the club, along with Sterling in November 2017. Sane scored his 50th goal in all competitions at senior club level, 37 for his current club, 13 for Schalke. Sterling has been directly involved in 9 goals in his last 4 starts for Man City at the Etihad in all competitions, 6 goals and 3 assists. I mean, that is frightening stats. Absolutely. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. So ended up 72% possession for City, obviously 28 for Schalke, 15 shots compared to Schalke's 2, 11 shots on target. So actually the 15 shots to 11 is actually a good start. Target. Only 1 by Schalke, 3 corners to their 1, 10 fouls to their 7. So another,
Dominant.
Yeah, it was easy at the end of the day. It was, as a City fan watching that, you sort of going, 20 minutes to go. Just let's see how many we can get. We ended up getting 7. It could have been 10. It could have been 11. But a great result that takes us through now. We've got games obviously coming up tonight, which will be interesting because we've still got Bayern versus Liverpool. That's going to be tough away at Bayern. And we've got Barca against Lyon. Again, that'll be a tough game. You know, that'll be a really tough game for Barca.
It is, because people are underestimating Lyon.
Yeah. Well, they are. I saw. I don't know where I saw the odds, but I saw some odds, and they were 400 to 1 for the Champions League. Now, right as it stands right now. Now, if they go and beat Barca, they've got a shout. 400 wow, that is incredible. They are the outsiders. You know, behind Porto. And I'm thinking, ooh.
Well, Porto are through. Porto are through to the next round.
Well, yeah, that's why. But you're thinking, Lyon have got a good chance against Barca.
Lyon are not a poor team. You know, they've got young players who are developing all the time, and it's kind of what I mean at the beginning of the season. What I said about Spurs, it's kind of gone off the rails a bit, that project. But I said, when people were saying they've not signed anybody, and I said at the time, look, they've got a lot of young players who will develop as they grow older, you know, and they'll develop under the manager. They'll get more game time, and if you bring in some new couple of big players, then these youngsters won't get the game time, and they need to keep playing and developing. And they will, because they say you're not getting better players, but you are during the season getting better players. And until the last month, people saying, how can Spurs do it without buying anybody? And it's the same with Lyon. Their players are getting better because they're like, you know, you're a 19 or 20-year-old. You should be better at the end of the season than you are at the beginning. They got Tongi and Ndombele. They got that Houssem Aouar, fantastic midfielders. You know, it's quite obvious we like them both. They got Ferland Mendy, one of a fullback. He's pretty decent. I think they still got Fekir, who Liverpool wanted to pay whatever 50, 60 million quid for last year, and that fell through. So they've definitely got some good players. You can't just write them off. And even Jason Denier, when he's playing for them, he looks a decent player, you know, and still so all progresses. And 0-0 at your home leg isn't bad. You get 1 all away, you're through. I mean, I personally, I think Liverpool will get through. That's my personal opinion right now. I think they'll score a goal against Bayern. And Bayern will struggle to score 2. You know, I'd like to be proved wrong, and
so
Bayern.
You're going to go for a 1-1 draw tonight.
That's what I reckon. I mean, I would much prefer.
That was my thoughts last night. I was thinking, I reckon it'll be close 1-1, and Liverpool will go through on away goals.
But obviously, my preference is for Bayern to exact some revenge on their German brothers in Schalke, and give Liverpool an absolute stuffing by 4 or 5, you know. Give some payback for us duffing Schalke. But I think at 1-1, and I'd love Lyon to win 2-1 in Barca. You know, get an early goal. Barca have to come out. They have to score 2, leave themselves a bit open, and then Lyon score a second. But it's one of those, if Tongi and Ndombele or Houssem Aouar have great games, does that put their value up by 10 million quid? Because the world's going to be, you know, half the world's going to be watching, you know, Barca.
At the end of the day, if it goes up 10 million, that's because of their performances against teams like Barcelona. So it shows that they can do it. So it's going to be interesting tonight. I must admit, I don't know who to watch. I don't know whether to watch the Liverpool game, or I'm probably erring towards watching the Barca-Lyon game, if I'm honest, because
I think that'd be more quality.
I actually like Lyon. You know, I went to the Champions League game, went to Lyon and watched them. And that night when it was 2-2 away, I just, when you watch this team and sometimes you get a little something for them.
Feeling for them, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I really, really like this team. It's almost like, we say, who do you support in Europe if it's not your team? I always, obviously, because of Messi and Barca and everything.
Yeah.
So I've got this little affinity for Lyon because I was so impressed with them that night in the 2-2. I thought we were lucky to come away with 2-2.
Oh yeah, we should have got beat.
I thought we were dominated by him for most of the game. So I've got a real. I think I'll watch the Barca Lyon game tonight, and fingers crossed. I hate to say it, but yeah, I'm going for. I want Lyon actually to beat them. Yes, it's going to be interesting. We'll know on Friday. Obviously, the draw's going to take place.
Yeah. Semi-finals as well.
Yeah, I said it on the video. I said it on the videos last night. If I could avoid anybody, I'd like to avoid Juve because on their day, we can beat them, no problem. But on their day, they can be so defensively sound and nick a goal. Obviously, Ronaldo scored a hat-trick last night, so it shows you that he still can do it. Yeah, and I think that could be a tough draw. In the final, don't care. But in the quarterfinals, I'd much prefer United or Liverpool. If I'm honest, Spurs. Yeah, I'll take any of the English teams over 2 weeks.
Porto.
I'd take Porto.
Yeah, so basically,
I'll take Barca. If Barca win tonight, I'd take Barca. I just want to avoid Juve in the quarterfinals because they can, on their day, they can just be so solid. They can destroy teams with goals, or they can destroy you defensively and just nullify you and get a 80th minute winner. And so that's the team I really want to avoid on Friday at all costs. Sod's law, we're going to end up getting
if we get Juve, there's going to be a posse of Man City fans looking for you.
Yeah, probably, but that's the team we want to avoid. I'm not worried about anybody else. I don't care.
We shouldn't.
Somebody said last night on live, somebody said Lyon City final. I thought that would be perfect. Would be, absolutely, I'd love that.
I'd love it too because I've got friends over in Lyon, mates over there, so who go to games and people in England who are Lyon fans who I know. So it would be an awesome experience. It'd be crazy, man, crazy.
You know, it's a few months' time, couple of months away.
Don't say it out. Just
we could.
Let it ride.
We could have 2 more trophies in the bag and going for a 4th. But anyway, we won't go down that route. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this this particular video. Hope you enjoyed the live sort of YouTube videos we did from the ground last night. Really enjoyed it. What we're going to do is we'll probably at games in particular. I think maybe 1 or 2 of us, both of us, or maybe individually, we'll do a live vlog. We keep saying we're going to do one, and we haven't because we've been so busy with all these games coming thick and fast. But we'd like to do maybe a live chat with all the subscribers and fans or followers or whoever wants to come on and ask us questions. So what we'll do is, I don't know how we're going to go about it. Maybe we'll set a date. We'll put it out there and say, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or we'll do a late one and basically say, look, get your questions in. We'll do it for like 30 minutes or so, and we can have a chat. Because like I said, I really enjoyed it last night. But at the game, obviously, it's very difficult because it was freezing last night, trying to hold my phone, and then all these things are coming through, and it was difficult to keep reading everything out. So we'll definitely schedule one, and we'll do, I don't know, maybe tomorrow or something like that. We might do, I don't know whether you're around, Ray, or not, but we'll chat about that later. Maybe we'll do something in the afternoon and do a live YouTube vlog or something like that where people can the questions, and we'll give you a time when it's going to happen. But anyway, Sandy from Man City Fan TV. Thanks, Ray.
Cheers, mate.
I'll speak to you tomorrow. See you guys. Don't forget, subscribe, click notification, keep commenting below.
We want 10K before the end of the season.
We'd love that. We're sort of already pushed through the 7. We're moving now on to 8. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And
all free.
It's absolutely free. We don't charge a penny. Don't forget.
Shout outs.
Absolutely. We'll give you free shout outs on this particular video. So those shout outs will be coming actually right now. And as these shout outs come out, just a reminder that the artwork, the Leslie Ross's artwork, I took that to Manchester on Monday. Yeah. They've been given to the Tackle for Manchester charity. They've passed it over to the liaison officer, the players' liaison officer at City, and she is going to get the artwork signed individually by the players. We're going to try and get as many signatures on the collage Centurions one as we can. That will then be returned back to me. Once we have them, then what we'll do is I'll do another video that shows you the actual signatures. Tackle for Manchester have also said, don't forget, this is important. They said that they'll send us through a letter of provenance to say that these have been signed by the players, and we'll probably in the letter put a picture of the actual signature signed image and the letter to say, if you know, because I know some people buy them and in the future they might want to sell them and things like that. So people might ask, is it genuine? It will come with a letter from Tackle for Manchester to say that these have been signed by the Man City players themselves. So when we'll get them back, we don't know, because obviously we've got a busy time this week. We've got Swansea coming up and then international break. So when we get them back, we'll let you know. People have asked on Twitter this morning, I see on my timeline, saying, where do I know about the latest ones? If there's any changes to the last tweet that I made with the bids, current bids, I will make another tweet. So just keep following Ray or myself. It's at Aviation Blue or at ManCity_Ray. If there's any updates and somebody says, right, well, I saw the bid was £250 for the collage one, the Centurions, I'll give you 350. Then a new tweet will be made to say this is the latest updated bids, and those people who've bidded already, thank you very much for your bids. Don't forget there are other pieces of artwork that people have not bid on yet. One of them is the 93-20 one, the Sergio Aguero moment. Fingers crossed Sergio's going to sign that, so you'll have yourself a fantastic, unique piece of artwork.
No one's bid on that.
Nobody's bid on that yet. I can't believe it. 50 quid, right? So Ray, I'll put that up on the tweet later. Ray's bid 50 quid for that particular piece of artwork. I think we've had a £250 bid on the collage of the Centurions. We've had a $100 bid from Jamal for the original A3. This is a one-off. No, there's not going to be any repeats of these. This is a one-off original signed by Leslie, with a half and half Algeria Man City shirt. And
Mahrez, in case anybody doesn't know.
Riyad Mahrez, yeah. And that's going to be signed by him. That's got $100 so far. We've had £100 for, I think it's Zinchenko. Was it Zinchenko? And £50 for Sane. Yeah. We've still got Phil Foden as well. There's a bidding for that. So, and the obviously Aguero 93-20 moment as well that you've bid 50 quid for. So I'll update it as it comes in. But thank you everybody. When we get the artwork back, like I said, I'll do another video showing you all of the signed pieces of artwork, and we'll keep the bid open maybe for another few days, maybe even a week, to see how much money, because it's all about the Tackle for Manchester charity, and all the proceeds go directly to them, and we'll post them out to you wherever you are in the world. So anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. You can crack on, Ray. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe, click notification, comment below, and thank you very much for all interacting on those live YouTube ones, and we'll do one soon. Take care.